At the same time, the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry says it's disappointed at the announcement by the power utility Eskom to plunge South Africa into load shedding stage 6. SACCI says this level of instability in the provision of power has serious negative implications for South Africa with its high unemployment and moribund economy. It further says that this makes it almost impossible for businesses to plan or expand, and this is damaging South Africa's prospect as an investment destination. To discuss this matter further, we're joined now by SACCI's President, Advocate Mthokozisi Xulu. A very good evening to you, Advocate Xulu. Thank you so much for speaking to us. As you may have been following some of the excerpts from the interviews done by my colleagues, it seems that some are even warning that stage 8 is in the offing. So what kind of picture does this draw for South Africa's economic growth and debt levels as well?
Good evening, Tepiso and the viewers. Well, look, it's a scary situation that the South African Business Community finds itself in, because in essence, what this particular round of stage 6 blackouts mean is that the structures that are in place that are responsible for Eskom have no plan, or whatever plan that they have in place is not going to fix the problem at Eskom. So in essence, stage 6 now, the possibility of a stage 8 and a total blackout is probably on the cards now, because there's nothing that the current responsible people have done that gives us confidence that they know what they are doing. I think stage 6 has caught them by surprise as well, and any these levels can increase easily, and there's no plan to even arrest this current stage 6, and it's a problem and a devastation for a lot of businesses and a scary picture that we are facing as a country.
And you've noted in your statement that it seems that the problem with Eskom is that the solutions thrown at it are not solving the problem yet. Literally just a couple of weeks ago, we were excited as a country, given the fact that we have a new board at Eskom, and congratulations were abound, saying that we have the requisite skills on the board. We've just seen the Public Enterprises Minister say that he has instructed the board to arrest the problem immediately. But I'm just wondering, what is at the heart of this ineptitude?
Well, look, at the same time that we mentioned that we were excited about the board, we, pay attention to this announcement. And at that stage, we said we do not want to throw personalities into the board and hope that things will disappear. The board itself then said, no, look, we have the requisite skills and we're going to hit the ground running. They themselves have been in office for a quarter now, and they've not come out to tell us what they found at Eskom. All we got was that the minister met with them yesterday. But why don't they come out and say, this is what we discussed with the minister, we've hit the ground running, this is what we think are the issues, and this is what we're going to do. So in essence, with what they have shown with us now is that they may have fallen into the same trap of just being a board that allows and continues as business as usual. And the question that you're asking is what all business people are asking in South Africa is all the plans that have been placed and have been given to the country that we are working hard to turn things around. When do we get accountability on all that? When do we know whether we've achieved anything or whether we are failing? And that's the problem that we have, is that the statements just simply say, here is something that you guys can hold on to, but no one is able to connect any of the plans and give us any transparency and accountability on the results. And that's why they also are here where they are now. And I guess if they continue like this, it's going to be business as usual, and it will never be wiser as a country of where we are and what we are doing as with Eskom. And that's why we are calling for a new trajectory in terms of how we oversee and run Eskom. Because if you're just going to rely on Exco board and shareholder representatives, those solutions have not worked. We are where we are now because no one is taking accountability. And if we continue like this, a total darkness is where we are headed.
Who should then preside over the independent, brutal, rigorous assessment of the root causes that you have called for? Because you're saying Eskom's ecosystems need to be looked at.
Yeah, so we are hoping that our statement will set the agenda for a conversation. We don't own the wisdom of what will happen with Eskom. What we represent are business interests, and business interests that are calling for reliable and cost-effective electricity. And we are saying the issues that must be on the agenda of this new trajectory is the issues of governance, management, operations, technology, people, and external and internal stakeholders. We can decide on who we want to bring in there. Obviously, we have a lot of experts as South Africans that we can pull up on the different agenda items that we are bringing. But I think South Africans need to be given a platform to agree on what system we can put in place and have almost a publicly available dashboard of where we are. It may obviously have to start on what we have now, which is probably the center of this country, which is the presidency. And hopefully, if we can set it up from there and have honest conversations and bringing a lot of South Africans who are well-meaning and who can help us to run this or turn around this problem as quickly as possible in a fair and a constructive manner. So it's a conversation that we are setting up front. We have not built all the blocks because we only represent what we represent, which are business interests that want the best for this country. But we are saying all peace-loving South Africans who care about this country need to reject the current structures and allow ourselves to enter into a conversation on building a new pathway for the energy security of this country.
What conversations are you having with other country chambers of commerce? Because some of these issues, the discussion has been ongoing regionally for quite a while. If I remember, warnings about where Eskom will find itself or does find itself started as far back as 15 years ago, with other African countries pointing to similar governance challenges that they had that led them to weak state entities who are energy suppliers. Is there resonance there, perhaps?
Yes, well, look, we interact with a lot of sister chambers throughout the world, and primarily we do that because we want to drive South Africa and make sure that it's positioned as an investment destination of choice and a business partner of choice. And what they see in us is a country that has great potential, that obviously has weak SOEs that we have now, and limitations in terms of energy. A lot of countries have had and gone through the challenges of governance and the future of state-owned enterprises. And the model that we have is probably archaic because we still rely on a cabinet to set the tone, and we are hoping that obviously the board and the Eskom can run the show. Now, in an ordinary course of business, those structures are not necessarily flawed, but in South Africa, it has become very clear that the shareholder representative board ExCo relationship is not working at Eskom, and we are saying it's not working because we are at stage 6 now, and we are not privy to the details of what they say they are doing, which is supposed to be contrary and supposed to inspire confidence. So yes, the state-owned enterprises obviously have to evolve, and they have to be agile and competitive. Our sister chambers have succeeded in their own countries. But the unique challenges in South Africa is that we need to obviously go through those motions now. Hopefully, we were hoping that things were going to be done by the guys who are responsible for now as the law provides. But the results are showing that stage 6, possible stage 8 total blackouts are a reality. So what we think we have is not working. So before it becomes a catastrophe, we need to overhaul what we have now. And in that process, it will be the evolution that every state-owned enterprise would have seen around the world.
The South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry President, Advocate Mthokozisi Xulu, thank you so much for speaking to us. And of course, some of the pundits are saying that we're looking at possibly 12 to 16 hours without energy in the near future.